Welcome back to the Down Under lawn. It's Reno 2025. Finally, after waiting 6 weeks, the Zoysia grass is gonna get destroyed. The Down Under lawn, the best lawn in town. So what we're going to do today is something that I've been waiting probably about a year to do. So I put this grass in last November, and it's it's been growing steadily ever since. But it is got super thatchy. It was super thatchy when I first put it in, but I just wanted to get it settled in. It was important that it established, and I just let it grow, and I just kept cutting it taller and taller. But yeah, so last week, early this week, I gave the lawn a bit of a cutback, so it's pretty brown at the moment, but I tried to make my job a bit easier today by getting this sort of cut down a bit. Probably tried to get it down to like 30 mil, but say in places it's still maybe 50 or 60, but yeah, so this area is about 45 square meters, so we're going to try and scarify it first to see if that's going to be easier to scalp. If not, we will scalp first, scarify, core aerate, top dress, fertilise, put down some liquids, just soil wetter and some seaweed just to help with the roots and get the products and the water down to where it needs to go, and this one will be done. Probably the most important thing is the watering, so we'll give this a heavy water today. That's the important bit, is if you're going to core aerate, to make sure that you water deeply, maybe a couple of days before, just to make sure your ground's nice and wet so you can actually pull out cores. Otherwise it'll be too bouncy, and a lot of the machines that you hire out there are ones that sort of pull themselves along. They don't actually inject themselves into the ground, so if your ground's too hard, it'll just bounce over the top and you won't get proper cores. But if it's nice and soft, it'll be able to go in deep and you'll get a good 3 to 4 inch core. So yeah, stay tuned and happy watching, and welcome to Zoysia Reno 2025. And if you could do me a favour while you're watching, just smash that like button. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. We'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, maybe hit that subscribe button, because there'll be plenty more Zoysia content to come. So this is the Stihl Scarifier that I'll be using. This is the RLA-240. This runs off their AK battery system. So this is for their home user. Their AP is their commercial professional range. Just try to scalp it, and then I run the Scarifier for. That's what I had to do last year on the Kikuyu, was scalp it down to dirt, and then I ran this through, and it worked fine. Came back just as good. So I thought we'll try this way. Some people scarify, some people scalp. It's really up to you. I just probably find if you can scarify first, probably makes the scalping a lot easier, because the lawn's really thinned out and you're able just to scalp down once. Whereas if you can't scarify first, then you'll probably have to just keep taking the lawnmower down notch by notch. But anyway, let's get into it. As I said, make sure you got your battery charge. So I'm expecting there to be a super amount of thatch come out of this. I'm going to try taking it down to the lowest setting and see how we go. So first pass, full catcher. Plenty of thatch in there. Look at all that dead material that's pulled out. So yeah, highly worth it. That's sort of suffocating your lawn, this stuff. Stops it from breathing, and so you might be green on top, but your lawn's probably super unhealthy. I think I'm going to have to go to the scalp first. So I've got the petrol mower. This is the Buffalo Bill. It's the old Honda HRU-197. There will be a video on me returning this to good working order. So when I bought it, didn't start, so I did a full carburetor clean and yeah, full service basically. Changed the blades, changed all the air filter, spark plugs, took off the carburetor, cleaned out the jet and put it all back together, and it starts first go now. So I've got the Stihl battery mower here. This is the 21 inch. It's the 510V. I think they've brought out a new version now, but we'll see how we go trying to suck this grass up. I may end up raking it. It is pretty wet. I'm not real sure how this thing's gonna go. It doesn't suck grass at the best of the time, but it might prove me wrong. It's a good maintenance mower, but as for doing this job, it might struggle. I do have the Bosch. Otherwise, we can put the catcher back on the Honda, or I can get another Honda commercial mower maybe to get this done. But anyway, the biggest issue is it's just wet. But let's get it going. So that's the first pass. There's still plenty of grass cover in here. I want to get that back. So we want to go down a couple more levels. I don't know, we might scarify first and then mow. See how we go. I've got the trailer set up now. I'll just be able to go up this ramp and see how we go. I'm sure if this stuff wasn't so wet, then you could throw that down, put sand over it, and that would take off. So yeah, that's the idea of sort of scarifying. It's to chop up those runners and make them stand up. So that's the first pass. You've got to make sure you always go both ways, especially if your lawn's not very level. It helps just get into those different grooves and make sure that you're getting the runners that are going this way and that way. So it doesn't matter if you go this way and this way, as long as you just go two different directions when scarifying. So we'll do that again, and then we will run over it with the mower, another setting lower, and see what it looks like. So we finished our double Scarify. The main reason for Scarifying is to open up the canopy. So let's just basically lets the dirt and your root system breathe, and it lets the moisture, lets all the water get down to where it's meant to get, and the canopy's not stopping all that nutrients from getting into the soil to give you that healthy grass. So by Scarifying, and especially on Zoysia, kaiku, and so all the couch grasses, you can really scarify those tines right into the dirt and try to rip up as much as that thatch, because that does settle in the dirt over time. We're going to go over this with a final scalp to really get down. And the beauty about scalping is you can sort of see here where I wasn't able to get down to the dirt, because that's where all the trenches were last year. There, here, and right up the middle is where the trenches are from putting in the irrigation. So I'll be able to level them out nicely this year. We're going to whipper snip the edges and then we'll do our final scalp. So we're going to try with the catcher on. I'm going to go down to level 3. So I've just finished the double Scarify and scalp, and as you can see, back to dirt, but there's still a fair few runners going through here. So even though it's right back, there's still enough. That's what I mean. You don't have to panic that it's not going to grow back, because each one of them will shoot out green and be loving it. So thinking maybe I might try to go to the lowest setting and just see what that looks like. So it's important to remember when you get one of these billy goat aerators, it's not hydraulic, means it's just self-propelled. You need to fill the water up, so that gives you extra weight to get down deep. So now we are good to go. Got the liquid ferts out here ready to go. Or the liquid, should I say. We're putting out our soil wetter at 100 mils per 100 squares. Seaweed Secrets, great for the root system. Putting that out at 100 per 100 squares. Quantum H. This just helps with the plant and soil amendments. Just gives you a stronger root system. Stimulants. We'll get that out. Activate mate. With that one, just that little kick before the fertiliser, the granular fertiliser kicks in. So, yeah, so basically what we're going to do is mix up about 200 square metres worth. So we'll put about 11 litres of water in there. And we'll mix 100, 200 mil of each of these products, except for the stimulator, which you literally only need 6 millimetres. So this is what the liquids look like. So you can see they're all if they weren't safe to mix together, that'd all be lumpy and congealed and it wouldn't still look runny. But yeah, so I'm putting this out at 100 mils per 100 square metres. So basically 200 mils of each product. And yeah, obviously quite safe to put together. All right, well, one thing I will say is that it's safe to lay these products down. You can leave them on the leaf, but with the soil wetter, you need to water that in to get it down into the soil profile. So, but we'll do that at the end once we've got the sand and the granular fertiliser out. But yeah, make sure you do water it in. The other products are all safe to leave on the leaf because they can be a foliar intake. So, but the soil wetter, you want it to get down into the soil. Probably another important thing I did forget to say was I've calibrated this sprayer, but I've calibrated to go in both directions. You should always go in both directions when spraying, just to make sure that you completely get the whole area. Also, these liquids are completely safe and no PPE really required. I just wear gloves because I don't like getting it on my hands, and I'm already in long sleeves, long pants, but don't need any face protection. So right now I'm about to explain to you that, yep, this is the best sand that I've found in yarn. Little did I know, this is the total wrong sand to use. Look, you can still use it, and I did use it, and it worked fine on my Kokuya, but for my Zoysia, which was slow growing, this is the wrong sand. This is a bricklaying sand. It's a clay base, so what it actually does is when you put it down, it gets a really strong crust on top and will smother your lawn. And in the future videos, you will see when I go over my mistakes on what I did with this renovation and then my lawn season, you will see that because I used this sand, and probably also because I cut it too low, but we won't go into that, but because I used this sand, it formed a real crust and it basically suffocated my lawn in some parts. So again, bricklaying sand, don't use. All right, let's get into it. So it's a pretty simple technique that I'll be using. Just a short-handled square nose shovel, and we'll be just putting it in and flicking it out. For the most part, that's it for the Zoysia. As you can see, I don't know whether it picks up on camera, but where the trenches come out of the irrigation box, I've really gone quite heavy. And then we'll get the level, and we'll try to get these as level, because there is quite the dip that runs up the middle to the sides. There's a big dip in there, up here. We've gone quite heavy with the top dress here, probably won't go as heavy out there. Dare say I'm going to have a fair chunk of sand left over, but that's okay. We can use it later on in the season. So next step is to level this out. I've just been letting this sand dry a bit, so it's much easier to spread when you're trying to get it out, and it'll go into all the holes, and hopefully we'll end up with something somewhat level. So this is what you call a lawn level. This is probably the prosumer. It's probably just 1.2 meters wide. The idea is you just push it around and it'll help you find all the holes and keep it level. This is by Williams Tool Co. It's an Australian made company. You'll probably find it at any good landscape or lawn stores online. I think I got this from Ben Sims at lawntips.net, so if you're after one, go check it out. Tell him Phil sent you from the Down Under Lawn. He might give me a sponsorship. Finished with the levelling of the Zoysia. I think we've probably got one little low spot, maybe around here. We might get a bit more out and maybe over in that corner, but for the most part seems to have filled in pretty good. This is what I'll be using for my granular fertilising. It's the Scott spreader. I've got the kitchen scales, which these are my own personal ones, not the ones out of the kitchen. Your wife may kill you. I've just got a jug to pour it in so it's less messy. Sometimes I do just put that on top of that, but the bag is quite full. And I've got the Lawn Tips Dominate granular fertiliser. So this is the bigger prill size. This is the 2 to 4 mil. It's perfectly fine for just a regular your regular lawns. It's not too big, but it'll definitely sit amongst that leaf canopy. It's got quite a nice nitrogen, low phosphorus and a bit of potassium, especially when your lawn's trying to recover. You need those minerals to get your lawn going. And I just like to tear my scales off. I'm going to be looking to put about 1.5 kilos. No point going crazy with this, because for the most part that's all you need is 3 kilos. In summer and autumn when you want to put this out, you could go a half rate, so you don't creating so much leaf growth, you're just giving it the feed that it needs. But if you're thinking, oh, I can put out 20 kilos per 100 meters, all you're doing is just wasting products. Recommended rates, and stick to them, because that's what they're there for. They've done all the research. So anyway, so then I'll just pour this into here. I have spread all this fertiliser. Unfortunately it didn't record, but thanks to the dramas. But yeah, I just put this out at the 1.5 kilo rate. Just went down the middle around the edges and just kept working my way out, trying to give a nice even coverage. Now you need to get this watered in probably sooner rather than later. So we're just getting the water down on this Zoysia. We're just going to run these sprinklers for about half an hour. We get fairly good coverage. Now, just important to check your sprinklers, especially if you're using these rotary types, either the Hunter or the Rainbird ones. I use the R-Vans. So I use these because you can flush them out, just so they can be a little susceptible to sand and not turning. So we'll just let them do their thing. We get 30 minutes down here, and that wraps up Lawn Renovation 2025 on the Zoysia. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've watched to the end and you've enjoyed this content. There'll be plenty more to come, especially on the recovery of the Zoysia Australis. So yeah, thanks for watching. Do me a favour, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already done it, so you can see how the Zoysia comes back to life, from dirt to lusciousness. The Down Under Lawn, the best lawn in town.